So you mentioned, Nick, that you were on the graduate training programme. How did you get to being a finance director, and what obstacles, hurdles did you go through?
I was lucky enough to get on that programme in 1997. So I had no big aspiration to be a director of finance straight away. At the early stage of my career, it looked incredibly daunting, think I'll never get there. But bit by bit, you get confidence, you get that sort of, get to see how they operate, and people promote you. They encourage you to go, you're ready to this, go on, go and do that. Never really had too many hurdles. There's times when I've had imposter syndrome of, they're going to find me out here, I'm not going to be here forever, they're going to know I'm not good enough. But that soon disappears as you gain more confidence and gain more experience.
Yeah, you must have had really good mentors. Did you have many, as you were moving up the ladder?
I did,
Do you have any now?
Yeah. So I do. They changed over time.
Right.
So depending on what I needed or what I wanted to learn from, they changed. But there still people I talk to now that I seek counsel from. But I'm more now I'm more doing the mentoring and coaching for others.
Oh, right.
Others have approached me and said, I'd love to have a chat with you about what I'm thinking.
So quite earlier on in my finance career, I didn't really know there was a mentoring scheme, and shadowing the finance director for a day, he asked me if I had a mentor and I said no, and he asked me if I wanted to be mentored by him, and it's been absolutely amazing.
And if there were 2 or 3 things that you've got out of it, what would they be?
Definitely my confidence in terms of progression in my career. I think I've done well having a mentor and guiding me in the right direction and giving me a bit of a kick up the backside sometimes. So Nick, you come across really confident. Some people aren't as confident as you. How would you, what advice would you give to those?
Yeah, every time I talk to people about leadership, the first thing they think about being a good leader is being confident. And I suppose my experience is that's far from the truth. One of the best directors of finance I knew hardly said anything, but when he opened his mouth, the whole room would go quiet, because it was going to be smart, it was going to be clever, it was going to be values driven.
What kind of advice would you give to those that are, say, lower down in the NHS in terms of finance but want to be a finance director but are really shy and introverts?
So you must demonstrate what skills you have that make you the finance director.
Right.
So you don't have to try and compensate too much for what you don't have.
Right, okay.
Try and demonstrate what you do have.
Yeah.
So if you're really good technically, that's great, shine. If you're really good at making judgments on things, because you're analytical and you see the data and you go, I'm really good at judging that, make them shine.
Okay.
So tooling yourself up, recognising those things of I'm strong here and I'm weak on here are okay, no one's perfect.
How do you prepare for interviews? Like, what would you recommend if I was going for an interview? What would be your advice?
I'd be intrigued as to why you're applying for the job.
Right, okay.
You've got to ask yourself that question.
Yeah.
Now, is it because it gets you to where you want to be going forward?
Yeah.
Is it because you want more money? Is it
Right.
because it's nearer home?
Yeah.
You've got to really be able to say, when the person goes, why are you applying to my trust, that you can answer that honestly. Once you get past why you were applying for that job, look at the job description and look at the person's spec. You can't do all of the job, because if you did while you were applying, you'll be bored.
Yeah.
There should be a good chunk of it that you like, that's developmental for me, and that's my next step in my career progress. And then really do your homework. This organisation wants to employ you, pay you a lot of money, and wants you to influence and make an impact. So come in with the dignity of doing a lot of homework, going to meet the people around that room, do your due diligence on them, and prepare for it. Nothing worse than me interviewing people and you know that they're doing 40 interviews and they just want the money and don't really care about the organisation. You'll get found out in my place anyway. And that's not fair on the others that really want to work there in that way as well. So they're the things I'd be asking you to look for.